Hey, this is Tyler with Survival Dispatch. So I'm up at my property this week, and I want to talk a little bit about security. There's a lot of different ways that you can secure your property and a lot of new technologies that are obvious when you think about it, if you think about it. So I want to cover some of those today, so stick with me. Trail cameras. So something cool about trail cameras is that you can stick them in multiple locations, connect them to, in my case, AT&T or Verizon, and get an automatic feed if someone shows up on your property. A little bit about the trail cameras. I have a Browning one here. It's connected to cell service. And the second it takes a picture, it sends me a text message, gives me a notification, and then saves the video. You have a multitude of options, different plans. I'm just using the cheapest plan. And you can either immediately get an uploaded video, save the video on an SD card so that you get a text message and then SD card later. Right underneath there is where the SD card goes. Fairly self-explanatory. I chose this one. Do this with two hands. I chose this one because it's got a metal casing. You can see in the dark. It's got lights. They're IR lights, so your eyeballs aren't going to see them, but you're getting hit with a flash, basically an IR. It's got the motion detector. And something that's kind of cool that I don't know if very many people have thought about, but this is just a 5 gig antenna. So if you're having reception problems, you just unscrew that dude. It's an SMA connector and run your antenna up. I have had good connection with this one, but I want the ability to move it. So I'll probably in the future get a taller antenna and just give it more capability, like if I stick it down on a waddy or a goalie or something. This little battery pack right here. So there's a primary set of AAA batteries inside of this. And there's this solar panel, and I'm kind of struggling in this specific configuration on where to put it. The sun is kind of given one of these paths currently, and it's 11:51. The majority of your, right now in time, the majority of your sunlight you kind of want to get in the afternoon. That's when you can get the most direct sunlight on a solar panel. This little solar panel only needs a few hours of light to recharge, and it's got its other batteries. So basically put, the solar panel will recharge the rechargeable batteries in here, and it's all waterproof. And then those are the primary electrical source for the trail cam. And if that goes down, the trail cam's got its own batteries, and these last for months. They're designed to be out here forever. So I can realistically let this run for seasons or maybe a full year before it becomes an issue, if it ever becomes an issue with that little solar panel. And it was like, I think this was like 60 bucks and this was like a couple $100. But now I've got an indefinite early warning system for remote property if someone shows up. And this is not the only one up here. This is just the one that I'm showing. So when it comes to setting up a game camera, whether you're trying to catch people or animals, you have to put them at about chest to knee level for them to catch the angle correctly. And it's good to hide them. So like this one right here is brown like bark. It works really good in the bark. And you can see where a tree has bled pitch all over it. So that's happened in the past. And what I'll do is, like, right here is an obvious trail. So I'll pick a spot like that right there. Maybe stick it right here on that bark so that this brown or dark colored trail cam is in a brown or dark colored location. Now, if you don't want 100,000 pictures of a moving bush, you've got to clear everything at about a 45-degree angle, all the brush from the trail cam. It's inevitable that you're still going to get things like shadows or birds flying over that'll trigger it, and that's fine if you're coming up and erasing your card on the regular. But if you, like if I were to stick it in there right now, this bush right here, that bush, anytime a wind came, it'd be constantly filming and just blow my card up full of data, and I just have to delete it all. So make sure when you put it in a spot that's not going to be visually seen by people as well. I mean, people, if you're looking for them, will see them. But this brown bark colored trail cam should be stuck on a brown bark colored tree so that it doesn't stick out as much. As an example, I come up here and I was looking for this earlier, and I left it in a location. I knew where the location was. I'm looking right at it, and just because of the sun's angle, I couldn't recognize the fact that I was looking at the camera. So when I finally realized that was the camera, I went over and grabbed it. But that's the ideal situation, kind of a dark recessed spot that's the same color. Another thing to recognize is right here is the trail. If I can get someone that kind of peeks up over the edge, or an animal that peeks up over the edge and kind of walks along this trail, I want it to have the same view that the camera is seeing right now. So like if I stick it on the ground like this, that's the view that it's going to see. And as soon as an animal either walks up over here or walks past this, I'm going to catch them. So think about the perspective. Ideally, you want it to be kind of high. And I'm going to walk this trail a little bit further. That tree right there on the left is kind of in the open, but that would also be a really good place to drop a trail cam, because I can stick it right here, right? It's vertical. Someone comes walking through, little man there, and it catches it. Or if an animal comes walking over this trail right there and they walk past, it'll catch the back end of the trail. So make sure that you're sticking it on a place where there's already tracks, there's already high traffic, and there's already stuff moving through, so that you can guarantee you'll actually catch whatever is moving through that area. Always, just like any trap, try to put it in the most high traffic area possible. So for now, this is about as good a spot as any for me. One other thing you got to watch out for is this strap. If the wind blows it, that's going to trigger your trap. So, you know, wrap it up, tuck it away, make sure that it's in a position where it's not going to mess with your trap. And I'll be up here probably within a week. I'm not going to leave this one up. I don't spend big durations of time that I don't come up. And then when you're ready, you'll crack it open. And I've got a couple of different models. This is my older one. It was one of the first game cams I've had. In this one, you can go to setup and change your programs. Right now it's on video. I'm just gonna, and I've got a new SD card in there, so I'm just gonna skip it straight to on, and then I'm gonna shut it. I saw that light come on, so I know that it's working. It's basically a countdown timer. Me just sitting here, it's gonna catch me, but I don't really care. So what'll happen is, you know, as the critters go through, they come walking along this trail, it'll catch them. Now right here in this exact spot, I caught a bunch of turkeys last time I placed this, and we'll leave this one up. I've got a couple of them around here, mostly because I'm kind of curious what and who is traveling through, and I like catching videos. And we've caught foxes and coyotes and a ton of deer and a couple people, so it's kind of nice to have these in the area where they'll do that. Now this one's kind of obviously out in the open. I mean, in the camera it looks darker than it does outside of it. In the camera there's a shade, so it kind of blends in, but that's kind of the idea, is you want it to blend in with the thing it's attached to. You need your different angles open, so there's no trees or anything moving around here, nothing that's going to trigger it. And then I've got it in a spot where whenever anything pops over this little hill, it'll trigger it, and then they'll walk right past it and I'll catch the video. Or if they're coming from this direction, they'll walk right past it and I'll catch the back side of them. Evidence of children. They were stripping the bark off of their spaceship here earlier. Good sign we've got animals in the area. And I already know because of all the traffic, all the deer traffic on the game cameras. Now in my case, one of those cameras I want people to see because I've got this at the entrance to the property. And if they come on the property, they're gonna get filmed, and I want them to know that they're getting filmed so that, you know, people will kind of stay off the property without permission. I'm all about hunters and people coming through, but I want them to ask first. So when it comes to bug out location security or just second property security, there's a ton of different ways that you can secure it, be that physical security, like a gate or something, and that really is only a deterrent for a dedicated person that wants to enter. And then there's early warning security. That would be like a dog at your house that barks so you can go get the gun. Or in this case, multiple cameras, and I haven't showed them all, multiple cameras that you set up that you can get an early warning for. So if someone's up here having a campfire or trespassing or whatever else, I can just shoot a text message of them with the location that I get immediately from the camera to the local police and let them deal with it. Now, when it comes to a long-term bug out situation, you're not gonna have, I assume you're not gonna have cell phone coverage, right? There's ways to make these systems work with mesh networks for a little community. That gets really technical, but if the grid went down with the existing trail cams that I'm using for security purposes, worst case scenario, assuming that I come up here, I'll at least have video footage of who was here or video evidence of what happened. So what do you use for security? What do you use to keep your bug out location secure, your home secure, a second property secure? And give me your thoughts on the idea of using trail cameras as a security mechanism to tighten up the security of your property. Hopefully that's valuable to you. Drop your comments down below, and thank you for watching.